Well, hello everybody. Am I live? I hope I'm live. How you doing? I guess like, comment, subscribe, whatever. Buy me coffee, super chats, support this channel. Thank you. Okay. Actually, I do hope you all watched the video I made about the situation in Syria and what's going on. Of course, some of you already wrote in the comments that, like I said, like I have predicted, the international community is already actively twisting whatever is happening in Syria to try to basically set up the ground for a future, how do you say it? Riddance of a people. I don't want to get demonetized, but an actual one. Because unlike some people that live in Gaza, that are a made-up people who are actually, they're just Muslims and Arabs, right? They're Egyptians, okay? Even if all of them disappeared, believe me, their sort is not gonna go extinct, okay? They're not, because there are a lot more of them. The Druze, on the other hand, are an actual minority that could disappear if it's been decided to do so. Anyway, the situation is, of course, like I also saw someone who his name is on X, who his name is Noor, forgot his name, Noor something. And the thing is that I got to talk to him personally before, and he really, I don't like the way he summarized the situation at all. It was such a clear, well, his name is No something. He's clearly still a jihadist, if you ask me, but whatever. It's a good thing I don't remember his name, otherwise it would get me in trouble, huh? All right, I kind of want to go through. Do you guys have any questions, by the way, about everything that's going on? I do want to talk about many things that I didn't talk about in the video that I made today, like the visit that the Druze leaders had in Israel for the celebration. They visited the grave of Prophet. They call him Shuaib, but it's Jethro, and they came from Sweden, so right all the way from Sweden, and it was something that was organized with Julani, with the jihadist. And of course, like, you know how it's like, so there is this force that it's called Amin something like that, that actually escort the Druze leaders to visit Israel, because this is the holiest site for them. So the moment it was very exciting. So imagine that the holiest site for you was unavailable for you because you live in a country that is, border issues, but suddenly it could happen, so they made it happen. And when the whitewashing of the new Syrian regime was happening, they also wanted to show, this is, I think, one of the things they did, right? They were like, okay, we can cooperate with Israel and allow these people to visit the most sacred site in their religion. And the way I heard they describe these people who escorted them, right, the security forces that led them all the way to the border with Israel, that they look at them with hate and contempt. And it might be a funny kind of analogy, but I feel like it's like a jealous husband who allows his wife and says, yeah, you can go out with your girlfriends, and then when she comes back, it's like, how did you dare to go out with your girlfriends, kind of situation. But funnily enough, this is not the pretext or the pretense that they used to declare jihad. What they actually used as the reason for their jihad that they announced against the Druze was so there was probably maybe a recorded message that was sent maybe in a private group or something like that, allegedly by a Druze person mocking Prophet Muhammad. And what they did is that they took that recorded message and they put a photo of one of the Druze sheikhs, and they claimed that this is something that the Druze sheikh had said, right? That he was mocking the Prophet Muhammad, so this is a good reason to declare jihad on them. And very low effort, very bad kids. Appreciate it now in retrospective. At least it was like, at least they tried, you know, at least they made up something where it's like, okay, ridiculous, but at least it's something, I don't know. But yeah. So I think the interior minister also declared a jihad. And at first it was more of a private organizations and people who did that, right? It was like, it was a jihad that I think was announced in unofficial, but like unofficial ways. And then I think one of the ministers joined in. And, you know, when this chaos was happening, when the government had realized what's going on, they joined the jihad. Yes, they decided that it makes sense to actually get rid of the Druze. So here's what I forgot to mention. I don't know if I said it in the video, but there's something weird with the mic. Sorry. Let me check. Let me see. Let me see what's going on. I'm so sorry. Anyway, why can I not complete this sentence of saying, like, here's the funny part, right? The sheikh that they used his photo was like, you guys, I'm old, and whoever is speaking, they're clearly very young. This is not my voice. Like, I'm an old person. Do you think I have such a young voice? I could have such a young voice. It doesn't make sense. I mean, they didn't try, like, at all. Like, not even the minimum amount of effort. Really. All right, so what are you guys saying here? Anyway, here's what I really want to start with, okay? Since everything's gonna be distorted right now, making sure that the real story of what's going on is spread is our job. I'll tell you something, okay, from behind the scenes. For the last several days, it was a lot of us. I've been there as well, you know, Mansour, Eshkar, Khalif. Like, I've been talking to Mansour, like, for the last couple of days all the time. And I also, you know, some of the bigger Twitters, the bigger people on X that you could see that were sharing those, that were not Israeli, and were from like the United States, I sent them. Like, I told them, I wrote to them, hey, please talk about the Druze, and I sent them videos and everything, right? And all the data and all the information as well. So this is something that we all did together. A lot of people were like, hey, wake up, because we were busy with the fires. We were busy with everything that's going on. Nobody in the international community would say a peep about it. The Syrians, what they did is that they were slaughtering people in Sahnaya, and what they did is they cut off the electricity, cut off the communication, so they couldn't get out anything, right? So people who have relatives in Israel, people who know people, like, they sent out the messages that way to Israel, and then via the Israeli Druze community that spread through Israel, of course, and then through people like us, we started being more voicing. You also saw like the traveling Pat, like Tal, he is super active with it and making sure that like it's talked about. And it, believe me, it was not easy. It was Independence Day, okay? We had fires raging on, and people were like mourning the. And before, a day before Independence Day, we have a Memorial Day. So people are still like sharing stories about their loved ones and stuff. And we're like talking about the Druze all of a sudden. So believe me, it felt super out of context when it came to Israel, okay? People were not in the mindset to be thinking of those things. You guys, the mic is possessed. Just my computer is possessed, to be honest. Is it better now? Is it not better? You know what I need to do? I'll just need to make it higher. Fix my mic connection. I don't think it's my mic connection. I think you're hearing this shh. It's my computer. You guys, I should really do a fundraising to get a new one. Yeah, because it's expensive. Because I added so much, it degrades my computer way faster than other computers would. Or how fast it should usually degrade actually. So yeah, I should really fundraise some for a new one. But it's my computer making that sound. This is why I just brought the mic closer to me and away from the computer, so I hope it's better. Anyway. All right. Okay. People are saying I can continue talking. So behind the scenes, right? So we've been I don't know if you saw, but there are especially Khalifa, who is amazing, by the way, is one of the Druze guys, but everything he says I saw he was doing was in Hebrew. So that's another thing, right? So first you have information in Arabic, then the second round is Hebrew, and then the third is English. So you understand that there was the information was not available in English. It is first available in Arabic, secondly, or Hebrew even, because some of the primary sources are in Israel, the meeting that Mansour shared and things like that. And so Hebrew and Arabic, but Arabic first, obviously, because it started there, and then Hebrew. And then to bring that and translate those sources to English and things like that and make it available when, obviously, nobody in the international community really cares about it. And wait just one sec. One sec. I'm writing. I'm live now. So I'm talking to one of the people who are organizing those things behind the scenes. So I got upset about one person in our group, the way he reported the situation. I told you, and he said that, and I said it, and I was like, to one of the managers of the group, and he was like, do you agree? I asked him, I don't know, I don't like the way he reported it, and he's like, okay, no, it's okay, and he said it's okay because it's just repeating how it's reported in the media. I don't know. I don't know. I'll look at it later and think about it more. Because here's the thing, we also had arguments in the group, actually. And before, with everything what was going on about the fires and that it was suspected arson and things like that, and everybody started arguing with everyone. And this is the group that brings you the information, okay? This is the intelligence group that makes those things available for the public. So believe me, if we were arguing, then things were messy. So it was hard to divert the attention of everyone. So, yeah. So sorry for that. You see some things behind the scenes. And here. Everything is still several hours behind. There is so much more news right now, and it's in such fast space. And then, those who... It's not so easy because you have to understand, those who... a lot of the people who do the linguists between, Hebrew and Arabic, they don't speak English. So they move Arabic to Hebrew super fast, but then Hebrew to English or Arabic to English is slower, to be honest. You'd be surprised, but this is something that people have noticed, the level of English in Israel is as high as it used to be. Like the younger population, younger people don't speak English that well. And I actually asked some of them, and they just look at me. It's like, well, who needs English, really? Like that was their answer, and I was like, what do you mean? You don't need English? But yeah, it doesn't help. It's not helping. I don't. Yeah, so definitely not helping. All right. Oh, by the way, when it comes to Trump, right? One of the biggest suspicions I have is that they had America like unofficially or officially. I didn't check, but I feel like they probably abandoned the Kurds, right? So the Kurds might. So I think like in maybe other scenarios, the Kurds could have joined it as well. But I'm pretty sure that they are kind of. I don't think they have America's backing right now, so I don't think they could. To be honest, it's just a hunch. I did not check it thoroughly. So if anyone knows what's up with the Kurds, but I did see that when there was a stabbing. They started stabbing or whatever the Druze who started in the north. So a lot of Druze study in Haleb because I guess there are universities there. So in the universities, this is where they first were threatened, right? The universities, they started, I think there were stabbings and there were kidnaps and there were like all kind of things happening in universities, but they did manage to arrange buses to evacuate the Druze that are in Haleb to the south. And I also saw some reports saying that the Kurds help the Druze hide from the jihadists. So fun stuff, what can I say? And I hope you guys seen my video where it's a bit more, I give you more background on what's happening right now, but yeah. America has fallen away in the media curve to God before we should help anyone. I mean, Witkoff is more of vinegar. I don't know what. Oh, that's abandoning the Kurds is America's national pastime is a quote I heard once. I didn't hear that quote, but interesting. I am back in Israel, indeed. All right. Khalifa is the man, I agree. Okay. Let me go through a thing. I also want to see, so what's happening right now. So there are updates all the time. So there are updates from now as well. And I saw that Trump, yeah, let me read that. You know what? Let me show that. Trump did had this lackluster message, honestly speaking, about the Druze. Also, like one of the biggest things that I need people to talk about, which I really wish people would talk about, is his Turkey. This is all done, right? This is all under Turkey's like command and influence. And clearly, yes, I saw people asking me, is it like Turkey behind it? Yeah, 100%. Like no doubt, it is Turkey. So second. I mean, it's what they do, right? He wants to be the Ottoman Empire. What did the Ottoman Empire do? Nothing good. Let me say that. was the sick men of Europe. The Ottoman era empire was so behind, so like agrarian and effing like just behind, you know, behind everything. Okay, so all right, so this is what I saw. Ending the violence in Syria, press statement. The recent violence and inflammatory rhetoric targeting members of the Druze community in Syria is reprehensible and unacceptable. The interim authorities must stop the fighting. What is interim? What does it mean by that, actually? What is interim authorities? Let me check. What does it mean? Like, is it also the Druze authorities, or who is it? Like, what is interim authorities? Is that embarrassing that I don't understand what it means? What does it mean here? Oh, okay, so I think, okay, so yeah, temporary. Okay, interim is temporary. Yeah, I just translated it so I would know. Interim is temporary. Okay, so basically the jihadists. All right, so the interim authorities must stop the fighting, hold perpetrators of violence and civilian harm accountable for their actions, and ensure the security of all Syrians. Sectarianism will only sink Syria and the region into chaos and more violence. We have seen the Syrians like. All right, so I guess like them saying that's an interim authorities. I get it, like, but like that's an interesting statement to make. Like, are they gonna listen to you if you call them interim authorities? Because clearly Giuliani had stated that there is no need for like elections, unnecessary. So he doesn't see himself as an interim authority. He sees himself as the new caliph. And definitely not temporary. And yeah, I don't know. So like, who is it at? Who is it aimed at? Like, I would understand like, hey, Turkey, fuck off. That would be a way better message, really. Come on. I mean, I know Trump could do that. We all know Turkey is behind this shit. They're the one that are sending them weapons. They're the reason that they have any weapons to begin with, because Israel really took the effort to make sure that the new interim authority would not have any of Assad's weaponry. So where does this weaponry come from? They have brand new weaponry. Who supplies it? Who gives it to them? Oh, I mean, luckily, like the weapons also come with a signature saying Turkey, so I guess that's not too much of a puzzle. It would be so much more effective to stop Turkey, right? The whole world right now is like, Israel, what are you doing? Why are you helping the Druze? We have, like, you know, as Jews, we know that you guys like supporting the jihadists and the Nazis when they do what they do. That's just our experience with the international community. So, you know, sometimes we think to ourselves, what if somebody would have, you know, bombed Auschwitz, for example? Wouldn't it have like helped? How hard was it really? They knew where it was, but why nobody? Like, why? No, nobody. Okay, fine. And here, like, we're saying the same thing. Like, the international community, I'm sorry, you're not calling out Turkey. Turkey, with their actual crimes against humanity, like trying to dry up Iraq and the Kurds, and they constantly like bomb them and assault them and cut them off. And basically, Turkey with their dams are actually drying up the whole of the Middle East, which is I think it's a casus belli, to be honest, because they have the water sources, but you know, whatever. I'm not an international lawyer, but anyway. So if it, and you know what, people are saying Turkey is a NATO member, so they should, like, doesn't it make it even more important that those who are other NATO members would call them out? Like, isn't it like, if it's in your family, those are familial issues, aren't you supposed to be reining in the problematic siblings or something? I don't know. Anyway, so whatever. This is just an empty statement. Like, he lost, like, you understand? Who's gonna read it? Who's gonna read it and understand anything? Like, you lost the interim authorities. You lost the authorities at that point, for sure. And it's like they're targeting members. Sectarianism will only sink Syria and the region into chaos and more violence, which is what they're looking for. So that is like, if you continue, you're gonna get what you wish for. We have seen that Syrians can solve their disputes peacefully through negotiations. When did we see that? I didn't notice. We call for a representative future government that protects and integrates all of the Syrians. Oh my God, okay, fine. That was so pathetic. I don't know, what is this really? This is like the great United States. Come on, what is this bullshit? Sorry. All right, what else do we have here? And I feel like the camera is not on me. Here. Okay. So yeah, amazing. 10 out of 10 in ineffectiveness. All right. What else were we seeing here? That's okay. By the way, there are so many fighters outside of Syria, like from outside of Syria, that are fighting with the jihadists, like people from Uzbekistan, Chechens, Kazakhstan, you know, a lot of places that come to spread jihad are there. So that is fun as well. Many countries helped Israel fight arsons, fires recently. I'm so grateful. Croatia, Cyprus, Greece, Spain, Italy, Bulgaria, UK, France, Czechia. What is this? Chechnya? Azerbaijan. I mean, really? Dagestan. Nice. I mean, Israel helps all those places all the time, and Israel has the best field hospital in the world. So if you have a disaster, and in Israel opens up a hospital, they are the most, like, they are the, like, by far the best, right? So the second place is like way behind. That's a major difference. So them not doing that, I'm sorry, with all the help Israel is sending every effing time and having the best field hospital in the world, that would be real asshole thing move to do, honestly speaking. And it took them quite a long time, to be honest, if you ask me. But all right, so please educate me. How indoctrinated are the Druze communities in Syria, Lebanon, and Israel? Are there, yes, divergent interests, yes. So funnily enough, somebody that I saw from Lebanon, I think, just posted that. So there is a segment, I don't know if you heard about Walid Jumblat. Walid Jumblat is a communist that is allegedly a Druze, but in reality I think he's married to a Shiite. His wife is Shiite, so his son is also Muslim. And because in the Druze community you have to have both parents they both need to be Druze to be considered Druze. So his next generation is not Druze. And he is basically a communist, Walid Jumblat, and he met up with Julani as well, by the way, trying to calm things down. And one of the things that Sheikh Hikmat al-Hijra, I think that's his name, so that is leading this alliance between the Druze, like the Druze who are fighting Julani forces. He wrote a letter asking the help of the international community in ensuring the safety of the Druze people. And what Walid Jumblat said in his meeting with the Julani, right? He said that there is no need for any international guarantees. Basically, he was like, go ahead and... Oops, I'm sorry. I bet that didn't sound nice. All right, so Walid Jumblat, who is Lebanese again. Yeah. I hope that didn't sound too bad. I'm sorry, guys. What he did was like, basically said, hey, go ahead and do whatever you want to do with the Druze in Syria. Whatever. But when it comes to the Walid gang and his style of people, so let's say that 95% of the Israeli Druze would 100% go against him, and 90% of the Syrian Druze, according to the Druze, I'm just using his numbers, and 50% of Lebanon. So Lebanon Druze are 50-50, and Syrian Druze are overwhelmingly on the anti-Jihad coalition, and Israeli Druze, obviously. I doubt you have 5% who support the not anti-Jihad, but whatever. Yeah, multimillionaire Walid Jumblat, Lebanese Druze leader, only cares about money and yet preaches for communism. Can you imagine? Who would have thought? God, Israel should never let Turkey establish even one base in Syria. I mean, it's hard to... They are very close, so the north is maybe hard, but definitely I think the sentiment is correct. Basically true. Yeah, Mick is being punished today. All right. Also, by the way, I want to give an update. So Israel also wants to bring Druze people to work in Israel. And like always, right? You try to do something nice and it gets more complicated because there was a list of like people who are... They published like a sign-up list, right? So people who are interested. And out of, I think, 1,800 sign-ups, only 25 of them were actually Druze. So the rest were the Bedouins who joined the jihadists and started fighting their neighbors. Fun stuff. And where's things? Oh, here. Okay, fine. Actually, I want to share a video with you. Let me open it up. This is the video that Mansour shared yesterday, and during the night we saw that things that were discussed in this video actually happened, so it's nice. Yeah, okay, where did I keep it? La la la. I should really get a fundraiser. I should really to have fundraiser. by the way, people, feel free to share the videos I made about the Druze, and I actually making a short, so you can share that as well. Because it's important. Nobody's going to speak up for the Druze, okay? The international community, and I swear, they're going to cook up and try to cook up a situation where it would guarantee that on the long run, the Druze would be in grave danger, okay? And what happened to them is already equal, probably, to what happened on October 7th. And, you know, and here's the thing, it's like, this is what the international community tried to do to us, right? They said, okay, you stopped the October 7th attack and you killed the, by the way, the amount of terrorists that Israel killed on the day that it happened was staggering. It was higher, way higher than the amount that they managed to kill, by the way. But, and then we're like, okay, you fought it off, right? Like that's it. This is where it ends, right? Like from time to time, you need to accept that the jihadists would come and just slaughter maybe 1,000 people, right? Maybe take a couple of hundreds of women to be sex slaves, and that's it. Like this is something you have to live with now. This is kind of the message that was like sent to us, but we have a country, so it's our choice to make, like, right? Like, fuck off. We're not going to accept it. Like, they're going to pay. They're going to see. They're going to feel how much of they're going to regret it, right? It's not going to be, hey, from time to time, let's do October 7th. And, you know, those who do that, like, it's a matter of luck. Some would manage to bring back some people into, you know, use as slaves, some wouldn't, but it's like it's jihad and blah blah blah, right? And we know that they think we know that they are willing to go ahead and martyr themselves, even if there is no guarantee that they're gonna take anyone with them. Like this is already good enough cause for them. So when like taking one-on-one is already a great win, it's already like a great reward. And if you get even more than that, it's like even more amazing, right? This is the mindset that they have. So they have nothing to lose. It's just a win-win-win-win situation. You die alone, win. You die with someone, wow, amazing win. And you die with many, whoa. Or you don't die and you go back home, whoa, amazing. Or you don't die and you go back home and you loot something, whoa. And the most prestigious, you go out, you take some girl with you and come back home. You just won the lottery. You basically, and this is, you know, the Yazidis, they could do it freely, right? And it's like the Druze, and now the international community is like, okay, let's Julani make it quiet again. All they want is quiet. They don't give a fuck about the fact that like really a staggering percentage of the Druze population got just slaughtered and taken, right? They don't effing care. They're like, okay, just make it quiet again. And then like from time to time, you know, the Druze would have to suck it up that they get slaughtered. Like this is the mindset of the West. This is how the West thinks, right? It's like from time to time, you're going to get slaughtered. And until you get completely slaughtered one day, that would happen as well. But it's not their problem. They just want the quiet, you know? And quiet is when things stay in their territory. Right, let me show you this meeting. So I don't know, it went so fast, but Druze leaders in Israel meet with ministers to what? To discuss Syria situation. So I don't know, I cannot read this fast, but this is from yesterday, I think.
זה לא בג'רננה, זה לא בסווידה, אומר. רגע, אני אגיד לכם שנייה חברים, אני רק רוצה להבין עוד דבר. הם שואלים גם לגבי האם נשקל הנושא של הצנחת חימושים לדרוזים?
So this is interesting. So they are asking, are they gonna let's see here. It's so nice to know, to see that when you already know it happened, because there are
נשקל הנושא של הצנחת
so arming the Druze by airdrops.
חימושים לדרוזים? לא יכול לשתף את זה.
And then they cannot share that
אתם
info.
מודעים לאירוע ואתם מטפלים ואנחנו עומדים, אני אמרתי פה בצורה הכי ברורה, אני רוצה להגיד את זה פה בכל רם ושתאשר לי. מדינת ישראל תשמור על הדרוזים בסוריה ולא תאפשר לפגוע בהם.
תגיד לו שיש עובדה דרוזית מתארגנת
מה אתה אומר, רומן?
שגייסו אותנו נוכל
זה התחייבות תאפשר
Here,
לפגוע בהם.
here.
כל רם
I want to read that.
לאירוע ואתם מטפלים
But you're aware and handling it. Yeah.
ואנחנו עומדים, אני אמרתי פה בצורה
I'll state clearly and out loud.
הכי ברורה, אני רוצה להגיד את זה פה
Please
בכל רם
confirm.
ושתאשר לי. מדינת
Israel
ישראל
will
תשמור על
protect
הדרוזים בסוריה
Syrian
ולא
Druze.
תאפשר לפגוע בהם.
תגיד לו שיש עובדה דרוזית
Huh. Interesting.
מתארגנת
מה אתה אומר, רומן?
שגייסו אותנו נוכל
זו ההתחייבות שאמר שר הביטחון וראש הממשלה, ואנחנו עומדים מאחורי ההתחייבות הזו. תודה רבה, תודה רבה, שלום.
All right, so that is that. Now we know they did do that. And actually, I want to here. Yeah, I saw this video on Mansour. Well, he sent it to me. I saw it on his channel as well. I asked him to share this video with him, and he did. How nice of him, right? Anyway, so Deborah, Israel needs to just annex all the Golan. The Golan is annexed. So what I think what you're talking about is Dar'a, which is the Khoran. And I think that what needs to happen, and this is something that Muhammad Afridi, you need to be executed. I'm sorry. But I'm gonna take you out of here because I don't need to hear your shit. Ugh. Is there a mediator here? Come on. There's need coping. Think you're a mediator. Block him for me. Because it's kind of slow right now. Copying, you're a mediator. Come on, do your job. Damn. Nobody here does their job. All you do is like... you guys. You guys are hopeless. So what needs to be happening is that all the Bedouins in Dara need to get evacuated to the north or the desert or just whatever. Okay, you guys said you blocked him. I blocked him. I can't see these messages. I think you blocked him in a... No, you need to block him in the channel though. And also copying here. So... Alright, I still see him, which is very annoying. So you guys, please do something about it. Because I don't know why my computer is not cooperating with me. Charlie, what are you saying? News blackout in the West. Maybe Israel defending Arabic minorities doesn't fit the script the EU and the UN have been promoting since the beginning of the conflict with Gaza. Who is here? Okay, purple pulp, and then unblock him and block him here because I really I cannot do it right now and he's annoying the shit out of me. So please do it. Yeah, coping woke up. Thank goodness. What are you doing? You're a mediator. Did you forget your job? Exactly. Go stand in the corner and think about what you did. But I still see him, so you didn't do shit. Coping, I swear. If I see another message, you'll be the one who's gonna suffer the consequences. I see 100 more, so you're very slow, actually. Yeah, he's still here. I don't know what's going on. Jay, calm down, sis. Don't tell me to calm down. Don't ever say, woman, calm down. Yeah, correct your weak lady. You know, Bookmouse, I'll just make... Can I make you a mediator? Oh, I cannot right now because my computer is too stuck for this. You know what I'm gonna do? I can do it here. So... It's so... Oh, thank goodness. Why did it take you so long? I blocked him. Let me double check. By the way, he's only kept this long as a punching bag. Coping, if you're not gonna do your job, I'm not gonna be happy. Oh, all of you blocked him. Like, I can't see him. I can't see who I blocked myself. All of you blocked him, like, personally blocked him. So funny. The plot thickens, yeah. It didn't work. Interesting. So annoying. Yeah, next topic, fuck him. I agree. All right. It's so interesting there. I think also the Atheist Republic is live right now on the same topic. Kind of want to spy on what he's saying. Can I do that? I can do that. I can open his live and see what they're saying. Because after that, how is it back? How does it work? Wait, how is it black? How is it back? That is mystery. All right. Is this like... Thank you, Jack. You're the only one who loves me, seriously. God bless. Hope all is well with the fires. Yeah, people support me. I'm not gonna be able to afford a new computer ever the way you guys are. So that's what I'm saying. Anyway, yeah, so buy me coffee, Patreon, and everything like that. Anyway, I actually want to talk about the future arrangements that I think would be ideal when it comes to the situation that we're facing with the Druze. And I want to dive into maps a little bit as well, right? So to show you the map of Syria and who is where and where the Druze populations are, because I think that there is basically no way to avoid some population swoops from happening. But it's the only way that those things could happen is if people like you, okay, you tell me, did you talk about it anywhere? Did anyone here, okay, I'm gonna do a poll, I'll poll. Did you talk about the situation of the Druze or ask anywhere, or fixed it anywhere, Did you write about it anywhere? Something, seriously, I'm seriously speaking, we've been we are humans just like you. I could have made way more money staying an engineer and not being here. And it's my choice, right, to fight for my people and fight for you all. But really, we cannot do that alone. So I really want to say, if you don't do this, if you're not unwilling to talk about those things, to talk to people about it, you're the ones that you should blame yourself when the Muslims win, okay? You have no one else to blame for it. You will have no one else to blame for it. If you're not sharing, you're not talking about the Druze, you're not talking about the situation, you're not saying, hey, we have to globally fight against jihadists everywhere and they're illegitimate, right? If you want Syria to be territorially the same Syria, then make it Druze and Christian and Kurds and make sure there are no Muslims there. I don't care if it's 90% of the population. They shouldn't exist, seriously. Harbing 30. We love you, Rebecca. Here is for the computer fund. Thank you so much. It might be a start for a calculator, that's for sure. You speak your mind, Rebecca, and I like that. Also, I can't spread the truth as much as you do. So this is how I do my part. I hope that you live in a third world country, Jack, because that would be the only excuse for it. I hope you do. Well, I can check, actually, what kind of currency you used. You think you used dollars, so why can't you speak about it, Jack? Why can't you go on X and talk about and write it a post or something, or just write it down? If you see something on X, right, and somebody writes some bullshit, then fix them. We need numbers, we need numbers. That's the only thing. Everything's the fires under, I don't think there are big fires anymore. I think maybe smoke here and there, but nothing. Here, coping. Thank you. How is it back? I shared to an independent Norwegian media company where we have the cool Rebecca you briefly highlighted a while ago, and DPA news. Thank you. This is what you're supposed to be doing. Thank you. That is the way you do. And thank you, Bert Pineapple. Lol, we love. Thank you for your support. How does this account work? Seriously, this is insanity. All right, Shana, what are you saying? Free beepers for the Bedouins. I shared post on Instagram and Facebook. I have no X account. Thank you. Good job, Shana. Very good. This is what I want to hear. This is what I want to hear. Oh, thank you so much. The calculator comment had me laughing. Start an official fundraiser so we can support. Yes, I agree with you. I need to start official fundraising. But so thank you so much for your support. That really made me happy right now. And I still kind of want to I kind of want to spy on other channels. I mean, Atheist Republic, what he's saying about the Druze right now. I can do that, right? It's completely legal. I can stream somebody else's stream. Yeah, just for like a couple of minutes, just to like spy a little bit, because I think it's funny. Pierce Taylor. Yeah, so thank you so much for support. He has multiple Google accounts, like many trolls. Yeah, makes sense. Well, thank you. Oh, hello from Rojava. How you doing? How you doing? Tell us what's going on. How are you feeling? How is it for the Kurds? Do you have any inside news that I didn't hear about? I probably you do. I hope so. Yes. Oh, it doesn't show the tagging, but thank you so much for your support. So let me see. So, all right. Oh, Jack, amazing. This is what I want to hear. I'll get on it. Truth needed more than ever. Exactly. Listen, if we didn't do it, like seriously, we spent our Independence Day. Believe me, it also was my mom's birthday. So you know how it feels like when, by the way, they didn't even know what was going on. So I had to explain to them. They were like, "What? Why are you not celebrating my birthday, sweet daughter?" And I was like, "Oh, because they're genociding the Druze in Syria, and nobody's talking about it. So I have to do it. And I have to tick people, and I have to, like, and just do what I can do because nobody else would. And if it wasn't for Israelis, if it weren't for Israelis picking up, because unlike what they did with the Alawites, where they had basically streamed it like they did when the Hamas broke in, this time they decided to not be so obvious about it. So how would you know? How would you know? Hero with the Jizya, thank you so much for Tricycle Jesus for giving me some Jizya. Nice work. Nice work, Purple Pulp. That was a good reaction. Rebecca, you are too old not to be married. Thank you. Yes. Yes. Tricycle Jesus, thank you for the jizya. I mean, I don't like Jesus giving away jizya because I don't want Christianity to bow down to this death cult, but it's funny, so. And also, like, you're farting a rainbow, so I forgive you. It's okay for somebody who's farting a rainbow to do that. I mean, Jesus is also just a name, so yeah. Okay, let me see. Hehe. Oh, you're saying I'm lagging, but the sound is good. Rebecca, can any group trust anyone in the Middle in Middle East ever. After seeing Druze getting backstabbed, but Bedouins are Muslims. What do you expect? Seriously, like, it's just that most of the groups are Muslim groups, so it's hard to trust. But here's the thing, it's like a lot of, even if you can trust them, right? The price to pay for a mistake in the Middle East is very high. So a lot of people just, they're opportunistic to try to survive, you know. I think in long term, it just makes everybody lose, right? A divide and conquer. By the way, I have to say that the Muslims and the Arabs, like in Syria, like they had, and the Iranians bots, like the Iranians and bots like that, like they really, really like, they really, how do I say it? Like they really demonstrated the power of divide and conquer, where they sent like tons of bots in Arabic and Hebrew to pretend to be Druze or Israelis to try to divide the Israeli community from the Druze community, and like, and also like actually have like fights between different Druze sects and like Israelis and things like that. So it was for a short period of time that was pretty effective until people were like, wait, realized like that those are bots. Like it took a moment. Not gonna lie. Okay. Okay, now I wanna spy on the competition here. See what they're saying. Slow, so slow. Let's see what their competition is saying. Oh, they're quoting Dr. Malov. 600 Jews have been massacred by the Islamist government first. Yeah, I talked about it in my video as well. That was funny. Let's see. I should say hello. And now, why is it stuck? What happened? No. Come on. I'm trying to spy here. It's gonna be funny for like 5 minutes before we open up a map and start being serious. I think I like live sometimes because it allows me to be like not serious until I get serious. But then I always think like in an ideal world that I would go and like cut the parts where I'm just goofing around and just leave the parts
so
where it's
actually,
that are important. But then I'm too lazy.
While that's going through,
This is so funny.
Pray for the Druze again, guys. This is an atheist channel. Every time I see pray for anything, I have to remind you, nothing fails like prayer. Okay, praying is not enough. Praying it doesn't do anything.
Yes, right? I agree with you, Armin.
Support them, but something better than prayer. But let's actually.
I mean, I'm stuck. The spying is like not very effective.
Watch this one.
Wait, where did I do that? Oh shit, I'm on my own. Shit, I thought I was in his channel. So funny me. It was like I'm saying hi, I'm spying on you, but I'm on the wrong channel. Funny me. Okay, where is the others? Here. Now I'm Blazek. I need to write hello, I'm spying.
I don't know who's shooting. Are these the Druze defending themselves, or are these the Islamists shooting at the Druze? Hold on.
Oh, I think these are the Druze shooting at the Islamists, from what I remember. Yeah, I noticed it was an oopsie moment where I sent it here instead of... wait.
So it says credible counts are around 100 Druze, not 600. Okay, so far,
Yeah.
so we have a report. So I don't know where the 600 number is coming, but we don't have yet anyone
The
verified.
600 numbers
The
coming
Associated
from
Press on May
Sahnia,
2nd had
where they
nearly
cut off
100
the electricity,
Syrian.
where they cut off the electricity and stuff like that. So this is where the number of 600 is coming from people inside. So yeah, there are 100. And by the way, there are I heard the number 700 that died in the area Sweda, jihadists. So there are a lot of casualties on the other side as well. So I heard, and in Sweda, that there were actually 0 Druze. And there are several Druze that were rushed in to the hospital in Israel. So they were brought from Syria to Israel to get treatment in Israeli hospitals. I think
I
like
wanna
a
see where
dozen
the
now.
600 number is coming from.
Sahnia,
Look, it's
Sahnia,
a
it comes from
source.
Sahnia. Sahnia people.
Let me see what you guys.
And it's
very
like
different to
from
know,
it's like
very
from direct communication from the people
no
there.
outside sources verifying this. Okay.
So it's not outside. It's Sahnia people telling telling
Let me
other
see.
Druze.
There is
I'm
no
writing it
credible
down.
evidence supporting the claim that over 600 Druze have been massacred. Okay, so guys, let's stick with the 100 number until we see an actual evidence for 600. Okay. Okay. This is quite interesting. I don't agree with this recommendation, but this one got almost 1,000 likes and 200 retweets. And I wanted to see what you guys think about this. I disagree with this.
Why would you disagree with
Dr.
this? I
Malouf
mean,
here
you're
is
weirdo.
Here's the recommendation that Dr. Malouf is making.
Okay.
Saying Syria must be partitioned to
I agree.
prevent a genocide of the Druze, Christians, and Alawites at the hands of the Islamist government. I don't know if you want to change borders, man.
You want to change borders, sweetheart. It's not like Iran. This country, Syria, was never a real country, okay? There was never ever Syria, so it's okay. Actually, in fact, Syria shouldn't exist at all. And the Islamic Emirate of the Levant, whatever part, should not exist either. It would be like empty. And then let maybe other countries have it, split it between them. And like some area here also needs to go to Israel, because literally Israel is too small for the amount of population we have and the population growth we're experiencing. So, yeah.
What do you guys think? Look at this. Do you guys think this is a good idea? I think this is a very bad idea to partition Syria into these sections.
Are you serious?
Changing
Why would you
borders
not?
This usually comes with a lot of bloodshed.
Yeah,
This could
that
be bad
should
for
come
the
with a lot
Druze
of
as
bloodshed.
well.
Listen, okay, here's the thing. The Iranians are people who have history and proved themselves to be beneficial and benefactory to the world for a little bit, and most Iranians I know are not brain dead. But the Islamists in the middle here are brain dead, so it's not a really bad, what's the problem? I see no problem. So, yeah. And also, I see this person is saying Syria is inherently unstable. He's right, he's correct. Anyway, Armin, I came to spy on you for 5 minutes and you get all the situation wrong. Just don't state your opinion because you don't understand Syria at all. You know Iran, right? But you don't know Syria, so that's what I'm thinking. Anyway, I do agree. But by the way, the Alawites here, this is the only maybe state that is technically possible in accordance to geography, which makes me, I think it's a good time to actually switch to the next segment of my show, which is opening a map and actually talking about reality on the ground and what could be and what could not be. So the reason the Alawite state here that is drawn is the only one that could be plausible is because of the geographic area the Alawites are on. So on one hand, they have mountains and a cliff, and the other is the beach. So this is a pretty good defensible area. So it's both defendable. Second, they have access to the outside world via ports, and basically good unit. The other ones are not very stable because Rojava is completely, for example, completely under the mercy of Turkey. And the Syrian state that is suggested there is also, but when it comes to economy, they do have, like, the Rojava state does get all the, I think, oil fields and things like that, so they can have like economic sources, but it is unstable with Turkey on the other side. But because Turkey is strong and like they also hold the waters and they build those dams, so they like drying them up. So let me open, actually, okay, so let's open the map and decide for ourselves if it makes sense or not. Okay, maps. La la la. Yes, where is Starlink when is needed the most? It's like the avatar. Wait 1 sec. No, wrong one. I pressed the wrong one. Oops. And it keep jumping. You keep writing and it changes. Like here. Where is Starlink when needed the most? Yes, good question. Great question. Actually, yes. So here's the thing. Syria, like the Druze state, would have to, the way geographically it is, it would have to cooperate heavily with Israel, and through that we can reach Rojava as well. I guess. I guess we should check out the map here and look. I'm opening the map. My internet is not happy with the amount of things I have open, so. And let me see the internet situation sheet. It was fun. It was fun spying on someone else's video, like for a couple of minutes, then saying that they, and then like making fun of them and then coming back here. But here's the only thing. You see how much, like, he's Iranian in Canada, but like there is so much in between. He has to go like until he gets the news. It's like a broken phone, right? So think about the amount of mediators there are until he gets the news, right? So I heard that from I'm a secondary source, like, so I heard that from a secondary source because like the primary source in Sakhnia had contacted someone in Israel and they told us that this is what they're saying from inside or something like that, right? And by the way, there are a lot of phones that were stolen and they're sending fake, pretending that they are the people who own the phone and ask for aid for themselves, but it's not the rules. It's like aiding the enemies. They're just like, hey, I have this number, and then they go through the contacts of the Druze phone they just stolen. They say that like they have friends in Israel, and they're like, hey, I really need your help. Can you send money? But those are not Druze. Those are actually the jihadists. So that's something that was also happening. So that's fun. Yeah, Shauna is absolutely right. Druze need their own flag emoji. And by the way, this is a great way to help and not to sound too technical or too political, I think, or like knowing too much. Just flood this, like, right? Druze need their own flag emoji. This is something you can, like, free Palestine, These people, like, they're mindless, stupid bots, but like, Druze need their own flag emoji. That is 100% legitimate. I think 100%. I wonder, like, do the Kurds have it? By the way, is there a Kurdish? Is a Kurdish flag in the emojis? Kind of wonder. Internet is slow. I bet I'm super lagging. Actually, another country that is completely fake is Lebanon. Maybe we can rearrange the borders when it comes to Lebanon as well, and then we can create stable countries. Because there are also Druze people in Lebanon. And actually, they're in close relationship with the Maronites, right? So there's sort of an alliance, from what I understood, between the Maronites in Lebanon and the Druze. Except they have this Walid Jumblat communistic leader right now. And if it's still 50-50, then the situation in Lebanon might be more problematic. But, we can get rid of the communists somehow, and then... Okay, you're saying Kurdistan have... Okay, so here, one call. Okay, so there is a Kurdistan. Perfect. Okay, so we need to get a Druze flag. Oh, investor is saying no leg forks fine. All right. Oh, another amazing point that here, who is it? Bookmouse is making here. Jordan and Lebanon are fake. You are correct. By the way, I didn't do the poll yet. Did you do something to spread the message, the word on the Druze situation in the dialogue against... I don't know, the wording is funny, but whatever. You will forgive me. Yes. And then you have to explain what you did or didn't do. Yes. No. Okay, poll started. By the way, another one is Pakistan and India, but India is a fucking huge country that should understand that and start acting like, the giant it should be, and just get rid of Pakistan. So I think this is an inner Indian matters. When it comes to the Druze, there really are like a very small minority, like... So, yeah. Okay. Let's look at the map here. The reason I'm not sharing the map yet is because it's still loading, so... Do you guys think that there's gonna be like a Muslim UK and non-Muslim UK in the future? By the way. Okay, let me see what you guys did. Since we're loading. Okay, you guys are saying that you... Nidis Kumar saying, I flooded cricket live chat with message where 1 lakh people were watching. I don't know what's 1 lakh, but thank you. Perfect. You had flooded some cricket live chat with talking about the Druze. Let me see. I'm gonna open another source here. Where is me? Where is me? Okay. So slow. Computer so slow. Okay, what are you guys saying? No, where right. But what about my poll? Where's my poll? I don't see my own poll here. All right. 1 lakh is 1, 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 100,000 people. Oh, very nice, very nice, Midash. So who else did anything? Come on, people. Tell me what you did. I don't know what you did. And I'm looking down because I'm looking, like I thought it will be faster if I look here. But now I'm thinking like I'm just showing you my head like that, so F. All right. Okay, fine. I give up. It is the way it is, all right, you guys? This is the map. All right. So this is a so-called Syria. And by the way, you see this very weird phenomena. Those are boulders. Like there is this, I think from volcanic activity. So the Sweda is actually on this very interesting, very unique geological phenomena. So it's pretty hard to navigate this area. So this makes it somewhat more defensible when it comes to. This is why Sweda has majority Druze population, right? And it's not that they didn't try getting rid of them before, right? But this is like an area here, see, this is Sweda. And this is an area that they managed to defend, like a defendable area. Same with the Alawites here, with this area here, which is really nice, actually, looking at it. Look. So they have the mountains here and the port. Very good area. All right. And then we have the so-called, Rojava, where they are sitting on the oils. And do they, so I think, okay, this is Haleb. So usually I say Haleb and not Aleppo. You guys know that Haleb is Aleppo, right? So the student thing is here. So they had to be evacuated all the way down to Sweden to be defended. And Damascus is here, which is pretty close to Israel, by the way, because this is Israel. This area here, and it's a bit extra. And the Sakhnia is here, like is in the south here. So I'm trying to understand. Okay, I think the border is like here. So even this river, I think the sources are in Turkey already. So it's not very clear, the border here, but I'm pretty sure like this is the border. Yeah, this is the border between Turkey and Syria. So no, so slow. Does the Druze part have enough water resources to operate independently? Good question, actually. Good question. We should look it up. Good questions you're asking. Let's see what's happening. My computer is unhappy. Very unhappy. All right. Here, okay. So you have Latakia. Let's see. Okay, you guys cannot see my screen. You guys, I'm hungry. Should have eaten something. The Druze are Muslim or not? Almir, you didn't watch my video today, did you? I can tell because I talk about it there. Wait, why can I? Wait, where is this? Should have been like a pop-up. Ah, here it is. Carlos. No, where did it go? Carlos, thank you so much for your support. Let me check what you wrote quickly. Because clearly I was jumping around. I see Carlos. My friend, good friend Carlos Rodriguez, who bought 10 books and he's amazing. I'm supporting your great work, supporting the Druze. Thank you. By the way, there's this song. All right. So I was in the. Oh, I want to show you something. Wait, okay. Yeah, I got those fun socks. Yeah. Got these fun socks. So I participated. I don't know if you can see. So Jewish Impact Delegation. And it wasn't a lot of people, but we each, like, at some point somebody was like, all right, let's do like a playlist. And let everyone put like some song in the playlist that is like special to them, right? Or makes them like emotional or something. And there is one song that one guy put there that I really liked. The other ones I didn't like. It was the only song I liked. And actually that they're not watching this, so it's okay. I can trash talk about the other people. Like they all had bad taste in music, except this one guy that chose a song which is very emotional, and it's about it's called, how's it called? I think the Holy Hunchback or something. So it talks about him meeting a guy who sweeps the streets of Tel Aviv, like he's a street cleaner, and he notices that he speaks like with an accent, and he asks where he's from, and he names a certain town in Poland, and he said, wait, does it mean you know the rabbi, a certain rabbi that he admired? And he said, yes, I was his student. And he was like, oh, can you tell me what he taught you? And he was like, do you think I remember what the rabbi taught me before? You know that like it was my life before the Holocaust started. And do you think we really remember that the life we had before, right? So it's like, I think a lot of people describe it like you had the life you had before and then it's cut off and you start a new life. It's like you're new, like, but it's like, but for sure, you know what, like, but now if I try and remember, I do remember some things. And he says and then the song goes, here's what the rabbi taught us, which I will never forget. The greatest deed in the world is to do a favor to someone else. So the greatest thing you could do is to help someone else. And he said, when I was losing hope in Auschwitz, right? And I was thinking to just let go. I remembered what the rabbi told me, that the greatest thing you can do is to do a favor to someone else. And he said, do you know how many favors you can do in Auschwitz? There are countless people who are broken, sitting, weeping on the floor. So I just sat there all night and listened to their stories. And I listened to their pain, and I was there for them, and I survived Auschwitz. And then he said, you know how many times I entered the sea in Tel Aviv thinking, here I am all alone in Israel, and like, and what's the point in living? And then remembering what the rabbi said, that the greatest thing you can do is help someone else. And he said, do you know how many people you can help too? Like you need help in the streets of Tel Aviv. A lot of people in the streets of Tel Aviv need help as well. So I help them and I move and I continue living. So it's really nice song. So that's the thing. The guy in the story, in the song, which I probably cannot play because of copyright issues. Let me see what you guys are saying. You guys are talk fast. I don't know, maybe what I said just didn't make sense, especially if you... But yeah, the greatest thing you can do is help someone else. And when you help someone else, you help yourself as too. And I really think that for Israel to thrive, we really need to change like our mindset, right? Like we have this mindset of like this like chaste minority that needs the world's help, and why does nobody listen to us and help us? And here we have the Druze next to us, who we can help, who are a chaste minority, a real minority, right? And nobody in the world cares about them. So for us to help ourselves, we actually need to help the Druze. Thank you. All right, I want to see if there are any news, if there are any updates about things that are happening. I see, maybe they're talking. Oh, this is nice actually. I want to share that. It looks like an article that would be fun to read. Anyway, I'm sorry, I think my computer is a bit too slow to actually look at the map and decide how to split the countries, but honestly speaking, like, we'll find solutions, you know? Do I know Nogar Bell? I don't know Nogar Bell, no, sorry. La la la. So somebody's saying not just help the Druze, but also help groups like Christian, Kurds, Samaritans. So Samaritans, 100%. Samaritans are 100% under Israel's wing. So there is no doubt about it. The Kurds and the Christians are problematic. I'll tell you why. The Kurds are Muslim, right? So the Kurds are not exactly, it's not clear that they didn't go through, how do I say it? It's you need to be cautious from Israel's side. We need to approach it with caution when it comes to the Druze, like with the Kurds. No offense, right? We don't know them as well. The Druze, we know, we live together. There aren't Kurds in Israel, right? There are Druze in Israel, and we know that like it took time. Like building this relationship with the Druze took a long time, and this is why I made a video talking about it. Talking about how the relationship with the Druze and Israel had developed and evolved, and it was not that straightforward at all. Okay, so it's one thing to help someone you know you can trust. It's another thing. What if the Kurds like cooperate with the Turks, for example, or like we don't have that, right? Because religiously speaking, right? The Kurds who are still Muslim do have it. By the way, they took it out from their education system and everything. And I want to say we want to help the Kurds. And also this is something our Minister of Foreign Affairs said, that we're going to help the Kurds as well. But they are farther and it's more complicated. And there are segments in the Kurdish population which is extreme. The Druze, we are not even in the state of mind to necessarily cooperate fully with the Druze in Lebanon. Like it's still 50-50. And when it comes to the Christians in the Middle East are backstabbers. They are backstabbers. I don't trust them. That's what I have to say. So it's complicated. I don't trust the Christians. I honestly say it. I don't trust them. And we need to check, maybe like, the Christians, even inside the Christians, like there are the Maronites. The Maronites already have a strong relationship with the Druze in Lebanon. If we manage to, through the Druze in Syria and Israel, manage to build the same kind of relationship with the Druze in Lebanon, and through the Druze in Lebanon, we might be actually able to have a trust strong relationship with the Maronites, right? Then we can do it. We can help the Christians there as well. But honestly speaking, Israel helped the Christians many times before, and they got backstabbed by the Christians many times before. So they are not a force that Israel can be like, let's save them and help them, and be like, that's the right thing to do. So it's complicated. All right. You also need to know who you can help and who you can trust. And as a good rule of thumb, helping for Jews, helping Christians might be problematic. There are a lot of Christians, right? No matter how much there are like modern movements that are more Jewish friendly, Christianity is still, because it has so much to do with the Jews, somewhat problematic for us. So, Rebecca, the Syrian Druze have been fed propaganda by Syria for decades. You're right, but the Syrian Druze had been having an autonomous reign on themselves for a decade now, and they changed the just like the Kurds. The Kurds also changed their schooling system. They don't teach the same as. So it did change. It's not, and it was a complex process and took decades to build that relationship. And even now, right, a lot of people were hesitant with the Druze, but what the Druze did is that they themselves removed all the elements that were against Israel. So they themselves removed publicly and very vocally took over the opposition that wanted to cooperate with the jihadists in Syria. So there is no way back now. Like they had proven themselves, right? They are the most dire situation, and like they took out all those elements that would want to cooperate with the jihadists, and they are not people of the book. They are not people of the book, and their religion was exposed as not being Muslim. So they have absolutely no way to actually betray us, even if they wanted to. So the Druze in Lebanon, though, via Walid Jumdat, did have like very strong ties to Hezbollah and stuff. So it's a 50-50 in Lebanon. So it's not so straightforward. But I do think like it would probably forge the way to Lebanon as well. All right. So this is John Spencer. I kind of like him. I just saw him publishing. A promise kept. Israel moves to defend the Druze across the border. In the early hours of Thursday morning, Israel fighter jet struck military targets near Syrian presidential palace in Damascus. From what I know, they just hit sand, but okay, sure, I like that version better. The strike came after days of escalating attacks against Druze communities in Syria by jihadist elements believing to be aligned with Syria's newly formed Islamist-led government. It was also the clearest message yet that Israel considers the protection of the Druze, both inside its border and across them, not just moral duty, but strategic commitment. Blah, blah, blah. Yeah, this is a good... Where is the fun part? I want to see if there is anything juicy. Okay, it talks about Majid al-Shams. Yeah, some background of the Druze. Sheikh Maufakta. Actually, like if you really want to know what's going on with the Druze like community, like I do recommend watching previous videos that I've made. It's a lot of information. All right. So whatever happens here with Lebanon, no Lebanon, it just, you know, this, it would be comfortable to have, but listen, like, look, it's just like the water, like the port, a Druze state here is definitely is going to be dependent on Israel. And it's a good question about their own water sources. I don't know. This is Damascus. What's going on here? Let's check that. Like, I think nobody lives here. It's like a desert. And like, look at the terrain. This terrain looks crazy. Is there a reason why it's so hard to get food to them? Yes, of course, there is a reason. The reason is Daraa, which is Choran, the area of Choran in Hebrew, which is inhabited by the... So, you have Sueda here, you have Israel here, but in between you have Bedouins. Here's the thing, I think, and by the way, there are also Druze communities living in the north. So, unfortunately, I think there is gonna be a population swap. I think there is no other way, and obviously, like, the goal is, of course, to help the Druze here and let the Bedouins here figure out that they need to move somewhere else. I don't care. Like, they can do like a house swap as far as I care. So the Bedouins here can house swap with the Druze who live outside of here, and that would be better. So the problem is this area has the Jihadi population, which Israel tried to have, like, you know, because they are Bedouins, they're a bit different. They are their own also sect in a way, but they're Muslim. Israel did try to develop relationships with them, right? When they need, like, send them food during the war, like the civil war in Assad. And a lot of more things. Somebody asking me more about how the Christians have stabbed Israel in the back. Well, I'll tell you the most Izmi, like, look up Izmi Pshara, look up the Ba'ath. So all the national socialist Arab movements, which abbreviated appropriately, they are all Christian dominated. Saddam Hussein's party, the Ba'ath, also Christian dominated. They were spearheading the attempt to annihilate the Jews. So there is a lot to say. You can also you see what I said, like, check out my videos on Bethlehem, and what happened with the Christians there. Like, they refuse to cooperate or ask or publicly acknowledge the fact that Israel protecting the Christians, and they are gone now. So yeah. So anyway, yeah, somebody saying you have made a lot of allies by feeding them in their time of needs, but not Muslims are. It doesn't work with them. They don't have any. They're not grateful. They're not grateful. It doesn't work with them. So Bedouin tribes in Daraa had shown their faces, right? So Israel fed them during the war and during the hardest times, and yet they rewarded us by joining in and trying to slaughter the Druze. So by the way, it was a question from day one, right? So Israel, when the Assad regime fell, they had meetings with those Bedouin communities. They had meetings with the leaders there, and they discussed things and stuff. And Israel was hesitant about what to do, because if they have, like, if they want to cooperate with Sueda, right, they have to go through this area where the Bedouins are at. And the way the world is operating right now, Israel couldn't just kick them out, like that's the moral thing to do, basically. That, like, I mean, now it's like the Druze need to do it. Kick out the Bedouins from Dal'a, and then you're gonna have a territorial, like the border. There's gonna be no. So you have Druze and Mount Hermon. There's a big Druze community, Sueda and Damascus, right? So if you get rid of this area here, we can have a good territory here that would be Druze, and would have territorial integrity, like no cuts in the territory, and it can, and then Israel, and then it would be, and then it would depend on Israel, because like Israel has the ports and everything, and also because probably they're doing horribly economically, so Israel does want to take workers that are Druze from these areas, but as you can tell, this is kind of far. This is not easy to come to do that trip. So obviously those who signed up to actually work in Israel ended up being those Bedouins, because they're closer. So that would be the way, also the way to get them out and back on their feet, because the economic situation in Syria is very bad. And I want to say, for you guys who are asking about the Christians, okay, I have personal experience in my life as well with Arab Christians. I know how they are, okay? I know a Christian Copt personally from Egypt, who, when Israel started to retaliate against the Gazans, told me that we should die and be genocided ourselves. And I said, like, these are the people. And his cousin, right, his family, he has family members who died by the hands of jihadists. And yet the moment Israel fights against the jihadists, he went against the Jews. And me personally, because he knows me personally. I studied his house. All right. And my Egyptian friend that is Muslim did not betray me like that. He did not send me to the gas chambers the way the Christian Copt did. The same Christian Copt who jihadist killed family members of his family. So I don't know where he's at right now mentally, but this is my experience, my personal experience. And I saw it with Lebanese Christians and with like Jordanian Christians and Israeli Christians and Coptic Christians. My impression is that these people are not trustworthy. I think they hate the Jews because their type of Christianity might be anti-Semitic or something. I don't know what their issue is. But if they want to die and let the jihadists kill them the way they do, then whatever, they can die. Like, they hate Jews so much, they are not even happy when the jihadists that kill their own family are being targeted. So this is like, I'm sorry, this is like too much to ask for. Shana Thornton, there is a lot of anti-Semitism in Middle East Christianity. I've heard this from immigrant Christian myself. In America, they change, but it's because America, yes. Shana, thank you for your things, yeah, for so yeah, the Christians are they did a lot to screw Jews up in the Middle East, and here's the crazy part, usually at their own expense, they would go ahead and screw Jews over to go, and they knowingly, they would admit it, that would mean that they would get targeted by the Muslims, and even though they know it, they still do it. Like, they would rather make a Jew suffer and die than cooperate with a Jew and live. So that's the way it, like, and yeah. Michael saying, she's speaking the truth, sad to say in America, I've seen so many times with Christian Arabs. So it's very complicated. David, sorry, Becca, your words are very painful to hear. Well, It is what it is. But it's not painful for me because guess what? The Jews are surviving in the Middle East. You know who's dying? The Christians are dying. The Christians are disappearing. The Christians are being. They're the one. That's isn't it like? Doesn't it even make it even sadder, right? It's like. You are the ones who are suffering from it. Israel is doing fine without you guys. You are the ones who are disappearing. You are the ones who are dying out. You are the ones who are not here. Like, what the fuck? So I don't know. Demonize Arabs. Everyone tries to, yeah. For real is affecting you after almost 2 years? F them all. Why would it affect me? It's not affecting me. It's like, it's not that I'm not thinking about anyone particular when I'm saying that. I'm thinking about like a group as a whole, right? The whole of, I mean, I'm not talking about any specific individual when I say that. It just, it's like, it hurts me to see stupidity like that, but it's not, it doesn't hurt me. It's like, it's sad. It's just sad, it's just like seeing someone who is hurting themselves and like, you might be not the smartest individual, but as a kindergarten teacher, you could have done fine. So it's a shame. And we are really, like, it's not like we have a surplus of kindergarten teacher or something like that, That's how I feel about it. Anyway. Am I crying? I'm not crying. I'm hungry though. Rebecca has empathy and sympathy for people. Yeah, sometimes. I mean, I do, but yeah. Well, but from Samantha Sabbath, thank you. Do you think that Israel will annex the Syrian Druze? I love your channel. Well, do I think we will annex them? I think maybe it's time for humanity to be more, maybe a bit more flexible with borders, right? There is something very unnatural with the way borders are now. And you can see that, like the Schengen, for example, that's flexibility inside of Europe with how borders operate. And I'm pretty sure there are countries in Europe that without the free movement agreement, without it you'd have to have war, right? So that's like, is it going to be annexed to Israel? Maybe, like, I don't think it's the right thing to think. Just think about it as territory with people, right? That we can cooperate with, exchange, right, goods with, and raise and see what's right one step at a time. But it doesn't make sense to necessarily think about it this way, right? So, because if they want to manage and have governance themselves, if you are two adults, right? You are two adults speaking and not a crazy group or something, right? So you can give different amounts of responsibility as much as like the parties want to when you talk, right? About what's more comfortable, what would make the areas prosper the most, don't forget that for the Druze, there is a risk of being Israeli. A lot of Israeli Druze are losing their Druze identity, right? They are very Israeli. And they want to, a lot of them, like, it's very hard not to stay Druze. It's hard to stay Druze, right? Like, being an Israeli is tempting. It's tempting for them. So if they want to guard their identity, having some sort of an autonomy, just for the, from the protecting, like you put borders just around your head, but not the body, just like Jacob did when he went to sleep, just around your head, right? So you put borders and you say, okay, we are different, just so that you can protect your identity. So that could also be like a reason to do that. But do you need to really think about borders this way? There are no real borders in the Middle East. Guess what? There is no border between Iraq and Syria. There isn't one. Not really. Like, you don't need to redraw borders. We need to understand, like, there are things that need to be flexible and are flexible. And yes, there are management areas and like you need to know who is responsible on what. I agree with that. Okay? But this national countries thing that we've been trying for the 20th century, it's kind of reaching the end of this experiment. This experiment proved to be too strict. Like the 20th century, we made those countries, and we decided like it's set in stone. And people have so much trouble in any kind of flexibility when it comes to borders, to the detriment of humanity. We just saw it with Armenia, right? It was like, what about the integrity of Syria? Syria is a made-up country that was made in the 20th century. If you talk about the area that was called Asham, then that would include Lebanon as well. Lebanon is something that was supposed to be part of Syria. You don't understand what you're saying. Like, what are you saying? It's not a country that was formed in a natural way. And you are defending borders that were imposed on it by the French. So it's like you cannot, like, there are real countries in the world, but there are places that are not real countries, and this inflexibility is just like shooting yourself in the foot. So it was nice, right? It was nice for the 20th century to after World War II. It was an experiment. We ran it for some time, but it's not flexible enough. And we need to rethink the way we look at borders. Not gonna lie. It also had been done in a way that was imposed on the world, right? It was never like somebody drew Iraq's border, somebody drew Jordan's border, and guess what? The people there had no say. What makes Iraqis and Jordanians different? What makes Syrians? Why are the Bedouin tribes here? Are they any different from the Bedouin tribes in Jordan? Are they? No, somebody just made those fucked up borders and it was like, now it's sacred. So, but in general, right, there are areas in the world that don't work with borders too well because of geography. What about or you have nomadic societies and things like that? I do understand the importance of border when you want to apply law. So the only reason you want to have borders really is to understand what is under whose responsibility, right? You have to have that. You have to make sure you know who is responsible on what. But right now we have people who are on paper, right? Like Julani, the interim authorities of Syria, who have a territory that on paper they're responsible for. In reality, they are just going ahead and killing people that they don't like inside randomly. People who should not be under their jurisdiction to begin with. Because this is their law. They follow Sharia. Sharia says kills the infidels. That's the law they are putting there. So now we are saying no, Syrian borders are sacred and it's an inner matter. If people who took over that came from a certain tribe, want to apply the laws of the Quran on other people, it's completely fine because those are inner matters. Are you insane? Like, are you literally insane? It's like, it's like you made borders a god. Instead of worshiping and instead of caring about humanity, you worship borders. This is paganism. This is paganism, right? This is what the name, when we say paganism, this is paganism. You don't put humanity first. You put your bullshit ideal first. So those things, yes, there is no doubt that every area should be like, it's when I know I was in tech. If you have two people responsible on the same container, this container is gonna not function because you have two people responsible for it. So we know very much in when you do programming, is like one function, one job, one container, one like extreme ownership, right? So yes, this is needed because you need to know who you come to complain with something happens in certain territory. 100%. Those fucking borders don't work. So those fucking borders put us in a situation where there is no ownership and there is no responsibility and there is nobody to talk to. So what? There is no border between, those people who come. Did you see the faces of the fighters that went and in the streets of Sakhnaya and just were like stupidly proud? Like they were not Syrians. They were Central Asians. How did the Central Asians come all the way here? Effing easy. There is no border anywhere in Central. I'm talking about borders, and the whole time you guys were not seeing the map. Nobody could have complained. Look, this whole effing area, okay? No real borders. Where are the borders? Also, you have like Iran that is helping, obviously, doesn't give a fuck. So they are taking over here. But, if somebody passes here, oh, where are you going? Oh, I'm going to do jihad in Damascus. Yeah, go ahead. What? What borders? What borders, okay? You effing stop, like, seriously speaking. Like, what are you talking about? So, like, it's nice. It's nice. On paper, it's nice. But in reality, what borders? What borders? You think there are borders here? It's idiotic. Anyway, things need to be more stable. And yes, it does make sense that you want to have a territory with clear ownership, okay? But it doesn't make sense that that territory wouldn't, like, the ownership would be given to someone who will be, like, you have to put humanity first. It's not like, oh, this is container, your container, you can do whatever you want to. No, this container belongs to the whole system. If the container is a fucking virus, it's gonna affect the whole fucking system because it's a virus. So you go to the person who it belongs to and like, I think your container is a virus. And I'm like, yeah, that's my container. What about it? Sorry, what? This is when you beat up the person who owns the container and fix it. You don't want a virus container. It's gonna collapse the system. Anyway. Yes. What else here? Think I'm gonna go eat now. So if you guys have any last questions, and by the way, I see that only 62% had taken action. So first of all, continue and be very creative and do as much as you can to make sure that the world is not just gonna set up the stage for the Druze to be genocided. Thank you. And the other thing is that please, those who didn't do anything, then start doing. It's important, the Druze don't have 2 billion Abduls that would go ahead and push their bullshit down everyone's throats. So that's the thing. Yeah, somebody says I should calm down or I'll get a strike from YouTube. You're right. Sorry. YouTube, please remember that you don't understand my accent. So, yeah. All right, you guys. Think I'm gonna go now, and thank you all for being here. Have a good night. Coping as, may I try to manipulate pro-Pallies to organization to highlight the Druze situation? I mean, as long as there is a crowd that sees you manipulating them, because they're not going to cooperate. So make sure there is a crowd. That's it. All right, everybody. Bye-bye.